The Sandman's Lullaby, Drarsiast, an urban legend, horror novel. Episode 1, Bart Night 1, download. Maya Chen hadn't slept properly in 6 weeks. It wasn't the caffeine. She'd cut that out by October. It wasn't her roommate Priya's late-night video calls. She'd bought noise-canceling earphones. It wasn't even the stress of senior thesis, though her advisor, Dr. Reeves, kept sending increasingly concerned emails about her deteriorating appearance. It was simpler than that and more terrible. Her body had forgotten how to sleep. She would lie in bed for hours, feeling her heartbeat in her temples, watching the ceiling fan rotate in the amber glow of the street lamp outside. Her mind would catalog everything wrong with her life. The thesis she was failing, the job interviews she'd bombed, the student loans that would swallow her whole, until dawn bled through the curtains, and she had to pretend to be human for another day. The app appeared on her phone on a Tuesday night. Maya didn't remember downloading it. She'd been scrolling through her phone at 2:47 a.m., reading articles about sleep hygiene she'd already memorized, when a notification chimed. Slumber well. Your personalized sleep solution is ready. Tap to begin your first session. The icon was a simple crescent moon on a dark blue background. Professional, clinical. Not like the meditation apps with their lotus flowers and sunrise gradients. She should have been suspicious. Should have wondered how an app installed itself. But 6 weeks of insomnia had eroded her critical thinking to a dull nub, and the promise of sleep, any sleep, was too seductive to question. Maya tapped the icon. The interface was minimal. No account creation, no permissions requested. Just a single screen with white text on black. Slumber well. Therapeutic audio for persistent insomnia. Session 1 of 3. Place phone on nightstand. Close your eyes. Let the music guide you. Below the text, a single button labeled Start. Maya glanced at her roommate's bed. Priya was face down in her pillow, one arm dangling off the mattress, snoring softly. The digital clock on Maya's desk read 2:51 a.m. She placed her phone on the nightstand, screen down as instructed, and pressed Start. For a moment, nothing happened. Then the music began. It wasn't what she expected. Not ambient drones or nature sounds or binaural beats. It was a lullaby, an old one, the kind her grandmother might have hummed. A woman's voice, thin and distant, singing words Maya couldn't quite make out over the crackling static of an ancient recording. Hush now, darling. Close your eyes. The melody was simple, circular. It repeated with slight variations, the woman's voice rising and falling like a ship on gentle waves. There was something off about the recording quality, not just old, but wrong. The static pulsed in strange rhythms. The woman's breathing between verses sounded too close, as if she were standing next to Maya's bed instead of singing through a phone speaker. Maya's psychology training kicked in automatically. This was probably using some form of auditory entrainment. The repetitive melody would slow her heart rate. The specific frequencies might trigger theta wave production, and the maternal quality of the voice would activate deep brain associations with safety and comfort. It was manipulative, but then again, so was insomnia. Her eyes grew heavy. The ceiling fan's rotation seemed to slow, matching the rhythm of the song. Her heartbeat, which had been hammering in her chest for weeks, gentled to a steady thump. Dream of gardens, dream of home. The last thing Maya registered before consciousness slipped away was an odd sensation in her hands, a tingling, like her fingers had fallen asleep, spreading up her wrists toward her elbows. Then, nothing. Maya woke to sunlight streaming through the window and Priya shaking her shoulder. Jesus Christ, Maya, you're alive. I was about to check your pulse. Maya blinked, disoriented. Her mouth tasted like copper. Her body felt heavy, like she was wrapped in wet blankets. What time is it? 10:30. You slept through your alarm. Through 3 alarms, actually. Priya held up Maya's phone, which was buzzing angrily with notifications. You never sleep through alarms. I thought you died or had a stroke or something. Maya sat up slowly. Her head felt stuffed with cotton, her thoughts moving through molasses. But beneath the grogginess was something else, a bone-deep satisfaction, the kind she hadn't felt in months. Her body was relaxed, loose. The constant tension that had been coiled in her shoulders and jaw had simply evaporated. I slept, Maya said, wonder in her voice. I actually slept. Yeah, like the dead. You were making these weird noises. What kind of noises? Priya made a face. Like humming, almost. But you were definitely asleep. It was creepy as hell. Maya checked her phone. The Slumberwell app showed a completion screen. Session 1 complete. 8 hours, 12 minutes of restorative sleep. Session 2, available tonight. Remember, complete all 3 sessions for optimal results. 8 hours. Maya couldn't remember the last time she'd slept for 8 consecutive hours. She felt drugged, but in a good way. That pleasant heaviness after a deep massage, when your body remembers it's allowed to relax. What app is that? Priya asked, squinting at the screen. Just a sleep thing. I don't know, it must have been in the App Store recommendations. Maya's fingers felt clumsy as she navigated her phone. The tingling from last night was gone, but her hands seemed to move with a slight delay, like there was lag between her brain's commands and her body's response. Does it work? Apparently. Maya swung her legs out of bed and immediately stumbled. Her left foot had fallen asleep, that pins and needles sensation, except it went all the way up to her knee. You okay? Priya caught her elbow. Yeah, just... Foot fell asleep. Maya limped to the bathroom, her left leg dragging slightly. The feeling would come back in a minute. It always did. In the bathroom mirror, she looked better than she had in weeks. The dark circles under her eyes had faded. Her skin had color instead of that grayish pallor. Even her hair looked healthier, less brittle. She smiled at her reflection. The reflection smiled back, but there was something odd about it. The smile arrived a fraction of a second late, like a video call with bad lag. Maya blinked, and when she looked again, her reflection matched her movements perfectly. She was imagining things, side effect of finally getting real sleep after weeks of deprivation. She splashed water on her face and went to class. The day passed in a pleasant blur. Maya felt good. Better than good, she felt right. Like a machine that had been running rough and finally got properly oiled. She actually participated in her seminar on abnormal psychology. She made progress on her thesis outline. She laughed at Priya's jokes in the dining hall. Dr. Reeves stopped her after class, concern evident in her lined face. Maya, I wanted to check in. You've seemed off lately, but today you're much more yourself. I got some sleep, Maya said. Finally. That's wonderful. Sleep deprivation can truly impact cognitive function and emotional regulation. Dr. Reeves paused, studying Maya's face. Are you feeling all right? You're moving a bit strangely. What do you mean? You're favoring your right side. Are you in pain? Maya checked in with her body. Her left leg still had that faint pins and needles sensation, and now that Dr. Reeves mentioned it, her left arm felt heavy, like she'd been lying on it. Just some numbness. It'll pass. If it persists, see the health center. Prolonged paresthesia can indicate nerve damage. It's nothing. Really, I'm fine. Dr. Reeves didn't look convinced, but she let Maya go. By evening, the numbness hadn't faded. It had spread. Now both legs felt distant, like they belonged to someone else. Maya had to watch her feet as she walked, consciously directing them where to step. In their dorm room, Priya was video calling her boyfriend. Maya lay on her bed, staring at her hands. When she made a fist, her fingers curled slowly, as if moving through honey. When she relaxed, they unfurled with that same strange delay. It should have frightened her. Instead, she felt detached, curious, like she was observing an interesting phenomenon in someone else's body. Her phone chimed. Slumberwell. Session 2 is ready. Consistency is key for lasting results. Maya looked at the app icon. She should delete it. This numbness, this lag in her body's responses, it had started after the first session. Any reasonable person would see the connection, but she wanted to sleep again, needed to sleep. One night of proper rest had shown her what she'd been missing, and the thought of returning to those endless wakeful hours was unbearable. Besides, this was probably just her nervous system recalibrating. When you were chronically sleep-deprived, your body did weird things when it finally got rest. She'd learned that in her neuropsychology class. At 11 p.m., Priya turned off her light and burrowed into her blankets. Maya waited until her roommate's breathing evened out, then placed her phone on the nightstand and pressed start. The lullaby began again. The same woman's voice, the same crackling static, the same simple melody. Hush now, darling. Close your eyes. But tonight, Maya could make out more of the words. Or maybe she'd simply learned the pattern, her brain filling in gaps. Give your body, give your mind, leave your worries far behind. In the garden you will stay, safe and sleeping far away. The numbness in her limbs intensified. It felt like her body was sinking into the mattress, becoming heavy and distant. But it wasn't unpleasant. It was like being held, being cradled, being told that she didn't have to carry herself anymore. Maya's last conscious thought before sleep claimed her was that the tingling had spread to her face, and when she tried to close her eyes, she wasn't sure if they were responding to her commands or closing on their own. Then the music carried her away. Night 2. Awakening. Maya woke up on the floor, not near her bed, on the floor of the hallway outside her dorm room, curled on her side in her pajamas, barefoot on the cold tile. The fluorescent lights hummed overhead. Someone had propped the hallway door open with a textbook, and early morning air flowed in, raising goosebumps on her arms. She sat up slowly, her body responding with that same strange lag. How had she gotten here? She had no memory of leaving her room. You okay? Maya looked up. A guy from down the hall, Tyler, Trevor, stood over her, holding a coffee cup and looking concerned. I'm fine, just sleepwalking. The words felt thick in her mouth, like her tongue was swollen. You sure? You want me to call someone? No, I'm fine. Maya pushed herself to her feet. Her legs wobbled, knees bending at odd angles before straightening. She had to concentrate to make them work properly. Trevor or Tyler backed away slightly. Okay, well, be careful. Maya stumbled back to her room. Inside, Priya was still asleep, her bed exactly as it had been when Maya went to sleep. The door was closed. Had Maya opened it in her sleep? She must have. Her phone sat on the nightstand, screen dark. When she picked it up, the Slumberwell app showed. Session 2, complete. 9 hours, 4 minutes of restorative sleep. Session 3 available tonight. Final session recommended for maximum benefit, 9 hours. Maya had slept for 9 hours and felt like she'd run a marathon. Every muscle ached. Her joints felt loose, like the connective tissue had been stretched. When she looked at her hands, her fingers seemed longer, the joints more prominent. She was imagining things. She had to be. In the bathroom mirror, Maya barely recognized herself. The dark circles under her eyes were completely gone. Her skin was almost luminous, but there was something wrong with her face. The proportions were off, just slightly, just enough to trigger that uncanny valley response in her brain. Her eyes sat a bit too far apart. Her mouth was wider. Her jaw had a sharper angle. She touched her face. Her fingers felt numb against her skin, like touching someone else. No, this was body dysmorphia. Lack of sleep followed by sudden oversleep could cause perceptual distortions. She'd studied this. The brain could play tricks when circadian rhythms were disrupted. Maya forced herself to look away from the mirror. She went to her morning classes, tried to take notes, tried to act normal, but her body wouldn't cooperate. Her hands moved wrong when she wrote, forming letters that didn't quite match her usual handwriting. She kept dropping things, her pen, her water bottle, her phone, because her fingers wouldn't grip properly. When she walked, she had to think about every step. Left foot, right foot, don't drag, don't stumble. People noticed. She could feel their eyes following her, see them exchange looks when she passed. In her cognitive psychology seminar, Professor Walsh was discussing proprioception, the body's awareness of its position in space. Proprioception is so fundamental that we rarely notice it, Walsh said, gesturing with a marker. You know where your hand is right now without looking at it. You can touch your nose with your eyes closed. But damage certain neural pathways, and suddenly you need to watch your body to control it. You lose the unconscious map of yourself. Maya stared at her hands in her lap. She was watching them. She'd been watching her body all day, constantly monitoring because if she didn't, she wasn't sure what it would do. The case studies are fascinating, Walsh continued. Patients with severe proprioceptive loss describe feeling like they're operating a machine they don't quite understand, like they're puppets, and they've forgotten how the strings work. A puppet. That was exactly how Maya felt. After class, she found a quiet corner of the library and researched Slumberwell. The app didn't appear in any app store, didn't have a website, didn't exist on any sleep therapy forums or review sites. When she tried to find it in her phone's settings, there was no listing for it. It didn't appear in her download history, but it was on her home screen. She could open it. The icon was right there. Maya clicked through to the app's information page. There was nothing, no developer name, no version number, no terms of service, just a blank screen, except for one line of text. For help, see the garden. The garden, that word from the lullaby. Dream of gardens, dream of home. Maya's hands started to shake. She tried to steady them, but they wouldn't stop. The tremor spread up her arms, into her shoulders, until her whole upper body was vibrating like a plucked string. She was in the middle of the library. People were staring. She needed to get out. Maya stood, or tried to. Her legs buckled, knees bending backward for just a moment before snapping forward again. Pain shot up her thighs. She caught herself on the desk, breathing hard. A librarian approached. "Miss, are you having a medical emergency?" "I'm fine." Maya's voice didn't sound like her own. It was too deep, too slow. "Just dizzy." "Let me call campus health." "No." Maya pulled away, forcing her legs to work. "I'm fine, really." She walked out of the library with careful, measured steps, concentrating on making her body look normal even though nothing felt normal. Every movement required conscious thought Left foot, right foot. Keep your knees straight. Don't let your arms swing too much. Smile like a human. Act like you belong in this body. By the time she reached her dorm room, she was exhausted. Priya was there, sprawled on her bed with her laptop. She looked up when Maya entered, and her expression shifted from friendly to concerned in an instant. "Maya, what the fuck is wrong with your neck?" "What?" "Your neck. It's—" Priya got up, came closer. "Jesus, Maya, are you having an allergic reaction? Your neck is all swollen." Maya ran to the bathroom. In the mirror she could see it. Her neck was indeed swollen, but not like an allergic reaction. It was bulging in strange places, like there was something moving beneath the skin. As she watched, the bulge shifted from left to right, a distinct ripple of displaced tissue. She touched it. The skin felt normal, no heat, no pain. But underneath she could feel something shifting, rearranging. Her hand moved up to her throat. Her fingers found her pulse. It was slow. Too slow. 40 beats per minute, maybe less. "Maya, I'm calling 911. "Don't." Maya turned from the mirror. The movement was jerky, her head rotating too far before snapping back. I think I slept wrong. Pinched nerve." "That's not a pinched nerve. That's—" Priya's eyes widened. "Your eyes. Maya, your pupils are huge." Maya looked back at the mirror. Her pupils had dilated so much they'd nearly swallowed her irises, leaving only thin rings of brown around vast black voids. She looked drugged. She looked possessed. She looked like something wearing a person. "I need to lie down." Maya walked past Priya to her bed. Each step required immense concentration. Her legs wanted to bend wrong, to fold in directions legs weren't meant to fold. "Maya, please, let me call someone. I just need to sleep." "You've been sleeping. You slept for 9 hours last night, and you look worse than you did when you were insomniac." Maya lay down. The mattress felt too soft, too distant. She couldn't quite feel it beneath her, like there was a gap between her body and the world. Her phone, still clutched in her hand, chimed. "Slumberwell, final session available now. Complete the cycle. Find the garden." Priya saw the notification. "What's that app?" "Nothing. Just a sleep timer." "It's doing something to you. Maya, whatever that thing is, delete it." Maya's thumb moved across the screen, but not toward the delete option. It moved toward the app icon. She tried to stop it, tried to make her thumb go a different direction, but her hand wouldn't obey. Terror finally cut through the fog in her mind. Her hand wasn't responding to her commands. It was moving on its own. The Slumberwell app opened. Session 3. Ready. Final integration. "Come home. Come to the garden." "Maya, what are you doing?" Priya reached for the phone. Maya's hand, moving without her permission, swatted Priya's arm away, hard. The impact made a meaty thwack. Priya stumbled back, clutching her arm, eyes wide with shock and hurt. "What the hell? Maya!" "I'm sorry." Maya's voice cracked. "I didn't mean to. I'm not controlling it. Priya, I'm not controlling my body." The words came out in a rush, panic finally breaking through. Her right hand was still holding the phone. Her left hand was reaching for the nightstand, placing the phone there. All without her input. Her body was operating independently, following instructions from somewhere else. Okay. Fuck this. I'm calling 911. Priya pulled out her own phone. Maya wanted to tell her yes, please call them. But her mouth wouldn't form the words. Instead, she heard herself say, "Don't. I just need to complete the final session, then it'll stop." "Like hell you will." Maya's body stood. She didn't tell it to. She tried to stay sitting, tried to make herself heavy, but her muscles moved against her will. She was a passenger in her own flesh. Her hand reached for Priya's phone. Priya yanked it away. "No, Maya, no, something is seriously wrong with you." "You need help." "I need the garden," Maya heard herself say, and that wasn't her voice anymore. It was still her vocal cords, but the inflection was wrong, the rhythm off. Someone else was speaking through her mouth. Priya backed toward the door. "I'm getting an RA. Don't fucking move." Maya's body didn't try to stop her. Instead, it turned back to the nightstand, picked up the phone, and pressed start. The lullaby began. "Hush now, darling. Close your eyes." Maya was screaming inside her own head. "Stop! Delete it! Run!" But her body lowered itself onto the bed with mechanical precision, her hands folded across her chest, her eyes closed. Give your body, give your mind. She could still think, could still feel. But her body was no longer hers. It was being prepared, reorganized. The tingling spread from her extremities inward, reaching her core, and she could feel things shifting inside her chest cavity. Organs sliding, bones bending, tissue reorganizing itself. It wasn't painful. That was the worst part. It should have been agony, but instead it felt like coming home to a warm bed after a long journey. Leave your worries far behind. The numbness reached her brain. Her thoughts began to slow, to fragment. She could feel herself dissolving, her sense of self becoming thin and translucent. Soon she would be gone completely, and someone else would wake up wearing her face. In the garden you will stay. The garden. She could see it now, in her mind's eye. Not a real place, but a state of being, a vast network of sleeping bodies, all connected, all humming the same lullaby in the dark. Thousands of them, maybe millions, spread across cities and countries, all running the app, all downloading the same thing, not software, something older. Safe and sleeping, far away. Maya's last coherent thought before her consciousness fragmented completely was a question. What happens to me when I wake up? Then there was nothing. Then there was someone else.